my name is Mahamed. I'm here to give an update about SIG Kubernetes Infrastructure. Okay, so it's a bit about me. I'm a senior DevOps engineer at the Arab Center for Research and Policy Studies. I'm a Kubernetes maintainer. I'm a Kubernetes Infra lead. I'm also a Kubernetes maintainer, a CNCF ambassador, and a kubestronaut. So a bit more about Kubernetes Infra. So what do we do? So the Kubernetes Infra manages the Kubernetes project's cloud infrastructure. So a number of vendors that we'll be showing later give us a lot of money every year, and we use it to run the Kubernetes CI. So on the screen here, we have three key services that we run. One is our image registry. The other one is our CI, and the third one is our download service. We've had some leadership changes this year. So Benjamin Elder and Dims, who've been with us for a number of years, have stepped down. I would like to extend my gratitude for their leadership and for what they do for my SIG, as well as the wider Kubernetes project. And we have two new chairs. Dylan Page, he's a CNCF tag infrastructure chair and an Atlantis maintainer. And the other chair that we have is Cyprian Hackman. He's a COPS maintainer and a longtime member of the Kubernetes project. So the first service I want to talk about that we host is dl.kist.io. So this is where you go and download your binaries for Kubernetes, so kubelet, kubeAPI server, and mostly kubectl. That's what a lot of people download it for. Here's a couple of stats from that service. So on a given month, we serve about 3.5 petabytes of data through our CDN provider, which is Fastly. On average, we get about 120 requests a second. And the traffic that we pull is about 11.5 gigabytes per second. And most of that traffic hits the cache, so it doesn't hit the origin, which is good for us. So we're currently getting about 95% cache hit ratio. The other service that most end users will use is register.kist.io that we provide. It hosts all the images that the Kubernetes project publishes. So both the core Kubernetes images as well as all our adjacent projects, such as etcd, NGINX Ingress, and various other projects. It's currently hosted in Google Cloud. That's where the main load balancer is. We have it's being served from 22 Google Cloud regions and from AWS regions, 11 AWS regions. We're serving many terabytes of data to traffic originating from Google Cloud within the same region. We don't know how many. On average, we're getting about 500 requests a second to pull images. So in the Docker API, if you're pulling an image, this is what it looks like. We receive this request, and then you get redirected to the blobs, right? We're serving about 2.2 petabytes from S3 to users in both AWS, and for all traffic that's not from GCP. So a lot of traffic and a lot of images being served to the users. So these are the current cloud vendors that we work with: Google, Amazon, Fastly, Microsoft Azure, and DigitalOcean. Thank you for all the millions that you give us every year. We're putting it to good use. And I want to mention that for this year, we have two new vendors that have been doing some great work with us. If you're interested in donating infrastructure, please reach out to us and the CNCF. So I have two new logos this year. So IBM and Datadog. So let's see what they've done for us. So IBM gave us a pair of Kubernetes build clusters for the S390X and the PPC64 architecture for use with Kubernetes and etcd. So historically, we never tested on these platforms ourselves. In the past, IBM used to test the stuff and give us the data. Now IBM gave us the money and the hardware, so we run the tests, and we can see the data for ourselves. We have additional signals for both Kubernetes CI and etcd CI because it runs on a variety of hardware from these two architectures, as well as Linux, as well as AMD 64 and ARM 64. So those are the four main architectures that we're running our tests on. As I mentioned earlier, these two architectures, so we have a pair of build clusters, a static cluster of about 10 nodes each. And they're running core Kubernetes EDF tests upstream. So some unit tests, integration tests, conformance, and a couple of other test suites. etcd also runs their full test suite on these hardware to ensure that it performs correctly. So all their various test suites. And we've caught some bugs around endianness and some other issues, which the Kubernetes project historically never had first-party insight into. It was always reported by IBM or any of their customers. Now we can see this for ourselves. I would like to say thank you to a couple of people who helped to get this initiative delivered. So Manju, Prajya, and Raja, and Sohail from IBM, thank you for all the help that you've given us this year. And I look forward to doing some more work with you. So Datadog is the other vendor. We've joined their open source partner program, and we're getting a couple of services from them. So cloud cost, observability, security tooling, and synthetic testing. So cloud cost, this is one thing that we need some help with, and they stepped up and gave us something that will help us. So we go to this single pane, and we're able to visualize our spend on Azure, on AWS and Google Cloud. Azure is pending. We're working on that, but hopefully it will be on this dashboard as well. This dashboard is public, so anybody in the Kubernetes project is able to view it. Most of the visualizations are visible. And in there, you can see our spend across projects, across services. So for this dashboard, we're interested in our compute spend and our storage spend. And as you can see, that's what it looks like on the board. Our Kubernetes clusters that we use for CI is also plugged in. So we're able to see our CI capacity. As you can tell, we run some very large clusters. You're looking at some 20 terabytes of memory and some 3,000 odd cores, very latest hardware. We also use some synthetic testing. So our production services are observed through here, and we have relatively good SLA. So this is testing image pulls. So from 29 regions every 30 seconds, we try to pull an image, and we see if we can do that. We also test the performance of the registry. But quick PSA reminder, we don't offer an SLA for this service because it's a free volunteer managed service. The only promise we give is that it's an OCI compliant registry, and you shouldn't rely on any of the implementation details. All right. So making the CI faster is an initiative that we're working on every year. This year, we finally decided to move away from N1 VMs. So if you're somebody who works in Google Cloud, these are the VMs that Google released in 2015, and we've been using them for almost 10 years. So this year, we're moving to the latest and the fastest VMs, and it's our plan to do that every year. So as Google releases new VMs, VM types, as well as AWS, we're going to migrate. And you can see like the performance difference. A job that runs on every Kubernetes pull request takes 1 hour, now takes 45 minutes. And that improvement just came from changing hardware, no code changes. We also intend to do the same thing for our EKS clusters next year. We're still figuring out which machines to pick, but we're definitely looking to pick something from the 7th and the 8th generation. We have a lot of work to do, and this is what our life looks like. Never-ending CI and feature things to look at. So we're interested in finding more maintainers and contributors that want to do this work. You can find my SIG in the Kubernetes Slack. So if you go to the Kubernetes Infra channel, you can find us there. This link here sends you to the SIG page where you can get details about who's in the SIG, what's our area. We meet every other week at 6 p.m. UK time, or if you're in the US, 10 p.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Pacific time. As I said, we're looking for more contributors and SREs, especially SREs who like to work on cloud infrastructure. We have a lot of work for you. Yeah, we're looking forward to you. And then thank you. That's it from me. Do we have any questions? Okay. Going once. Okay, going twice. Okay, that's it from everyone. Thank you.